Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing a little bit of a different video than normal. It is still a makeup tutorial, but I had a request from one of my cousins who is going to be in a wedding that I do a makeup look that is easy for someone who's on, for someone who wants to do their own makeup for a wedding that they're going to be in. It's difficult if you don't necessarily really know how to do makeup, or if you don't know how to do makeup that'll look good on camera, and for you to do it and do it well and be able to look just like the other girls in the wedding party who are getting their makeup professionally done. So I hope that this is helpful. If you have any questions or want a different color scheme or whatever, please leave it in the comments down below. Also, please give me a thumbs up or give this or subscribe. And you'll be able to see content right when I upload it. I guess we're just going to get right into it. Okay, so I have already applied my primers, and a primer is crucial on whether it's your wedding day, whether you're in a wedding party, or whether you're just attending a wedding. It is absolutely necessary for you to put on a primer so your makeup stays all day and stays in place for photos or what have you. So I am actually going to start off with eyes first, and that is because we're going to get a little smoky with it, and I don't want my foundation and face makeup to be sort of off because of the dark colors. So I am going to prime my eyes using the MAC Painterly Paint Pot per usual. I love this thing, and it really does help your eyeshadow stay in place all day. Okay, so I honestly think that one of the best eyeshadow palettes that you can buy if you're going to be doing your makeup on either it's your own wedding day, if you're a bridesmaid or on the wedding party, or if you're just attending, is the Naked Smoky palette. I actually think that this is amazing because it has really great neutral matte shades and then some really awesome smoky shades. So as you can see here, it's got, you know, ranging from light to smoky, 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 and then back out for some matte light shades out here. So this is awesome because it fits any skin tone. So if there's sort of a bunch of you and you all know each other and you're all friends, it might be worth it for a couple of you to go in on the price of this together, and then sort of everybody use it just with your own makeup brushes. So first thing you're going to do is grab a big fluffy brush. I'm going to use the Sigma E40, and I am going to dip into the 13 shade right here. It looks white on camera, but it's more of a cream color, but it's the perfect color for your crease. And then the next shade that I'm going to go into is the second shade right next to it. That is called Combust. And I'm just going to do the same thing, put it right in the crease. But just be a little bit more careful with it. I'm going to keep it below the brow bone, and just be a little bit more precise right directly into the crease. This is going to be more of our transition color / building color. Okay, and now I'm going to take just a little bit more of a precise brush, and I am going to go in with the same shade and just really pack it in the crease. Okay, next I am going to take the shade right next to it called Whiskey, and I'm going to go back to the very fluffy brush, this one, and I'm going to take just the tiniest amount of this and concentrate it on the outer corner. We're going to go back in with that shade and smoke it out after we do our lid color, but this is just to build up the crease even more. You want to make sure that you're really blending and you're really taking the time to build up the colors so that it looks seamless but also gives it some dimension, which photographs really well. Okay, next we are going to take a flat brush like this, and we are going to pack on the shade High right here. It's the lightest one. It looks a lot whiter on camera than it actually is. It's more of a tan shimmery shade. Now, I think it's important to have a little glitter. I think that it photographs really well, and I think that it just sort of makes your eyes pop and are really bright. So I am going to go in with a MAC pigment called the MAC Tan pigment. You can see I have this little jar of it, but this is just a little sample. Do not be afraid to ask for samples when you go to makeup stores like Sephora or MAC. It's extremely important for weddings, whether it's your own, whether you're attending, or whether you're in the party and you're deciding to do your own makeup, that you buy quality stuff, like quality products that are going to last all day. That does not necessarily mean that you have to buy full size, or that you can't just get samples and save them to use on your wedding day. However, if you're the bride or if you're in the wedding party, I do suggest that you get one sample prior to the day of, test it out first and see if you like it, and if it's not the right shade or whatever, like go back and get samples. You can get as many samples as you want from any department in Sephora, and you can go back as many times as you want. Like it doesn't matter, like nobody's keeping track of it. So a little sample will be one application. Not for this pigment though. This pigment, I've had this for like a year and I'm barely even through it. But you can just ask, because if you're gonna be dropping $30, $40, $50, $60 on something, you should know whether or not it's going to work. So don't be shy about asking for samples, and especially with pigments and stuff like this, like I have so much left, you can see. And if it's like a $30, $40 product, you don't want to invest the money in something, the whole thing, and then not like it. And I am going to wet my brush to make it just a little bit more metallic. We're gonna go back in with the more precise brush that we previously used, and also go back into that whiskey shade right here. And this is where we're gonna start to smoke out on the outer corner and just a little bit more into the crease. Okay, and then go back in with that fluffy brush and the combust shade right here, and just smoke and just blend it out a little bit right here. Okay, and then we are going to highlight our brow bone with the high shade again right here. Okay, so now I'm going to pause on the eyes and I'm going to move right to the face. Like I said before, it's really important to get a foundation that you know will stay on your skin long, but will also like look really good in photos. So my tried and true is the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. This is amazing. It's full coverage. It stays in place all day. It's mattifying. However, I have extremely oily skin. So for some people, this might be the total wrong option because they need something that's hydrating, moisturizing. And in that case, I personally think that either the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, or I've heard that the Naked Skin Foundation is very good. But again, I am a matte girl. I want it to be matte and as matte as possible on my wedding day, and my makeup artist delivered. So I am going to go in with my Real Techniques Beauty Sponge, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the back of my hand. And it's extremely important that you do not put too much foundation on because you can look cakey, and cameras these days will pick up on it. So you just want to take a beauty blender because the beauty blender will suck up any extra product that doesn't need to be on your skin, but still leave it really flawless, and almost give it an airbrush-like effect. So we'll just get started. Okay, I forgot to preface that by saying that my foundation looks a little bit darker than my actual natural skin tone, but I fake tan today. So once that gets done developing, my face will match the rest of my body. So I am going to go in with under eye concealer. This is super important when taking pictures. Whether you use a liquid concealer or you use just a powder that's a few shades lighter than your natural skin tone, you really have to highlight underneath your eyes in order for you to just look good and awake and happy and bright in photos. So I prefer to use both a powder and a liquid, but just getting by with powder is perfectly fine. So I'm gonna use the tried and true Naked Skin. This might be a little bit too light because it goes to my other skin tone, but we'll make it work. And then I'm gonna go in with my Beauty Blender and I'm gonna blend this out. Obviously both of these sponges are damp. Okay, so next I'm going to set my under eye concealer, and I really love the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, as you guys know, but I especially love it for weddings because no matter whose makeup the artist is doing, they have highlight and contour shades for light to deep skin, and so this is actually really perfect because even if you just buy this one thing, you knock out 3 different steps of face makeup and highlighting, contouring, and bronzing. So I think this is great. Again, if you're doing your own makeup with a bunch of girls and you want to split the cost of, you know, buying these 2 palettes, simply all you have to do is sanitize brushes in between, and you can just take a cotton ball and like rub it and put some rubbing alcohol on it and just like rub it over here, and it'll sanitize the powders. So honestly, it's a great way to save money if your family, if your friends, if you know the other person doesn't have any eye disease or anything like that, then it's safe to share that kind of makeup. It's not super safe to share mascara and eyeliner, but I'm going to use some drugstore brands that'll cost you like nothing. And if you want to do two big ticket items, I'd suggest getting these two. So I'm going to take these two shades and highlight under my eyes. Okay, and then like I said, because I like matte skin, I'm going to also set the foundation where I didn't just put the powders. So I'm going to be using my tried and true It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores. This is also amazing for filming because it has a little bit of silicone in it, and it makes your skin look flawless and smooth, and it fills in pores, and honestly, it keeps me the mattest of any powder that I've ever tried. My nose tends to be my problem area, so I just put an extra layer on my nose. And I'll actually keep one of these in my purse, and it's awesome to touch up during the day because it does not get cakey. So the next thing I am going to do is bronzer. I am going to dip back into the Kat Von D Shea Light Palette, and I'm going to take this shade right here. And I'm going to take a little bit more of a precise brush. You've seen this in my videos before, but I like to use this because it really keeps your bronzer to a very centralized location. And it's this tulip-like brush right here. Some people like to use these kinds of brushes, but I honestly find that it puts my bronzer on too much of my cheek and that it makes my face look really small. So I'm going to take this is the Sigma Tapered Face Brush F25, and I'm just going to dip it very carefully into this powder because this stuff is pigmented. And because I found that I went a little bit high with my bronzer to here, when I wanted to keep it more to here, I'm going to dip right back into the palette, and I'm going to take the lightest shade right here, and I'm just going to touch it up a little bit. Okay, so if you are in the bridal party or are the bride, I highly recommend that you contour. Some people are scared of it, but it's honestly not as scary as people think. It helps a lot in photographs, and it really is something that you should do so that you just look your best in those photos. Again, we can dip back into the palette, and we're going to take this shade right here. That's because this is a little bit more on the gray tones, and that's really what you want to contour with. You want to contour with a shade that has some gray undertones so it looks more like a shadow and not like an intentional line. So I'm going to take this brush right here. You can see it's very flat, and I'm going to dip it ever so lightly into this. Tap it off. And I'm gonna go right into the hollows of my cheek right here. So when I make that face, you'll see that it almost makes a shadow of its own, but we're gonna deepen that shadow. You wanna go down towards the corner of your mouth, but you don't want to go much farther than half of your cheek. And then I like to go back over it with just a little bit of this Bye Bye Pores powder because it'll really smooth it out and not make the line so harsh. So as you can see, it's made some pretty drastic changes. Now, you do not just want to contour that one area of your face. You also want to go up around your hairline and down along your ear to really cut out a jawline. So here we go. Okay, and next, if you feel a little self-conscious about your nose or that maybe it's a little too wide or it could be a little bit more straight, you can take the same powder and just go very lightly down the side of your nose, like this, and like this, and sculpt it out to look a little bit more thin. You always want to keep it bright down the middle and like a shadow on the side. And then one little trick is to take a fluffy brush like this. It's a little bit dirty. And take a little bit of that same contour powder and put it right here to make your lips just look a little bit more full. Okay, so for blush, I like to keep it neutral, just a little bit more rosy than my skin is at the moment because I put on very full coverage foundation. But you just want to look like you're a little bit flushed. So my favorite for all skin types is Blush All Day by MAC. It's very neutral, it just gives you the smallest hint of pink, and it's really feminine and girly, but it's also matte, so you can, it goes for every skin tone. You can control how much shimmer that your skin has. And then I'm going to go back in with that Bye Bye Pores and just blend it out a little bit. So as you can see, it just gives you like a little bit of a flushed look, but it's still very natural. And so for highlight, if you would like a highlight, not everybody wants to do it. I am actually going to dip back into the eyeshadow palette. Yes, this eyeshadow palette has multiple uses. And I'm going to grab this shade that we highlighted our brow bone with. And I'm going to take just a fluffier brush like this. And I'm going to dip right into it. And I'm going to use it as a cheek highlight like this. You can see it gave an ever subtle glow. And then on top of my eyebrows. If you want to do the center of your nose, feel free. I have a very oily nose, so I don't want to add any more shimmer to it so that it looks even more oily. But I am going to put it right on my Cupid's bow, because along with putting the shade, like the contour shade underneath your lip, if putting a little highlight on your Cupid's bow makes your lips also look pouty. Okay, and now we're done with the face. The only thing I do want to do right now is I want to put on a setting spray all over my face, because I tend to, because I have such long eyelashes, once I put the mascara and everything on, I will open my eyes after spraying my face with all of the setting spray, and I'll get mascara dots all along the top of my eye, and it's so annoying. So while I have all of the powder on, I'm going to put the makeup setting spray on. I am using the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. This stuff really does keep your makeup in place all day. And that's something that you want to do if you're in the bridal party or even just attending a wedding. Typically they're in the summer. Typically it's very hot outside. Just put a little bit of this on and you're good to go. So for eyeliner, I am going to actually use a pencil, but you can use liquid, and everyone knows my favorite is the NYC liquid liner. $2 at the drugstore. Go get it if you want to do liquid. If you're doing lashes, which I'm not going to be doing lashes today, but if you're doing your own makeup, but there is a makeup artist on site and you want to have lashes, see if she can also do a little bit of liquid liner for you as well, because the liquid liner really makes it look seamless between your real lashes and the falsies. But I am just going to go in with this Jordana 12-hour made to last liquid eyeliner pencil. I know, seems strange, but you're supposed to get the quality of a liquid liner in a pencil form. And I'm going to line my upper lash line with the black. I'm gonna go back and take this brush and just make the corners not so harsh. When we did our under eye concealer, it sort of sharpened them, but I don't like my corners to be that harsh. Okay, and I am actually gonna take a brown eyeliner on the bottom lash line because I find that if I do a black on the top or brown on the bottom, it really brightens and opens up the eye, which is what you want in photographs. So I am going to take the Rimmel Scandalized Brown, I think it's just called brown. Yeah, 003 brown. And I'm going to put it on the lower lash line. Now you can stop at this step, but I'm going to very carefully, because we've put on our face makeup, take a flat definer brush, and I'm going to go in with the with this Radar shade right here. Oops, sorry, right here. And I am going to press that right into where we just put the lower lash eyeliner. Just to smoke it out a tiny bit, but also set that eyeliner so that it doesn't sort of move all night. Okay, and I'm actually going to do the same thing with the top eyeliner and use this Black Market shade right here. The reason that I did the lower lash line before the upper lash line is because there would have been a little bit of black still left on this, and I want to keep it brown on the bottom. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is eyebrows, and I am going to be using the Anastasia Brow Definer in the shade Blonde, I believe. Oh, it is. Okay, Blonde. And I'm going to just define my eyebrows. You can just use a tinted brow gel if you would like, but I really want to take the time and sort of sculpt them out, and then I will set it with clear brow gel at the end. I'm going to do this off camera. It's boring. Same old eyebrows. You fill them in, pencil them on. I can do an eyebrow video if you want. Leave a comment down below if you'd like. But it's boring and it takes a long time, so I'm just going to get going. I guess all that we have left is mascara. I am going to use the Maybelline Colossal, my tried and true. I love this. Like I said, if you're doing falsies, go for it. I just don't really want to do them today. But if you're the bride, you definitely should consider doing falsies because they look really beautiful in the glamour shots. But if you're just in the wedding party or just attending, don't feel like you have to do it. Okay, and then the last step is lips. I look best in pinks. It's just who I am. I look great with pink lips. So on my wedding day, I actually chose a pink lip. I think I brought my own. I don't remember. So I'm going to put on just a pink lip liner and then a gloss over it. But honestly, do what feels best for you. If you prefer to wear a nude, go for it. If you prefer to wear red and either you're the bride or the bride lets you, go for it. Do what you want to do, but just pick one that looks best for you. So I am going to go in with the Urban Decay 24-Hour Glide On Pencil in Native. And I'm going to put this all over my lips. Okay, and then the lip gloss I'm going to use is actually this Maybelline lip gloss in Petal Plush. Petal Plush, I guess. And I'm going to put this all over. Okay, and then you're good to go. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have a specific color scheme that you have for your wedding or a wedding that you're in and you don't think maybe the browns isn't going to be good, like maybe you want some grays or purples or something, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I'm more than happy to do more of these. I know wedding season is coming up and I know weddings are expensive. And if you can do your own makeup and do your own makeup well to where it's going to look great on camera and be comparable to the girls who might be getting their makeup professionally done, I'm more than happy to be helpful for you. So I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you have a great day. Love you guys. Bye.